have a question. What is your favorite song and how do you connect with it? Is it when you fell in love or through something really difficult? I'm your host, Tiffany Mason. Now join me as I interview others and we take a walk down memory lane with them. Let's get lost in why that music matters to them. Turn up your radio and let's explore Memories with a Beat. Hello, Podcast Land. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Memories with a Beat. Today, you're going to spend some time with just me, Tiffany Mason. The song that I am inspired to share with you guys is Madonna, Just Like a Prayer. I'm going to tell you why. I was in the car driving and all of a sudden it came on and I was like, oh my gosh. And exactly what I always encourage my guests to share with me is, that flood of memories or emotions that they get when the song comes on. And that's exactly what happened. So I knew I had to share it with you guys. Now, some fun things about this album actually is it came out in 89. So that means I was a whole whopping 9 years old because I hadn't had my birthday yet that year. And this is what Wikipedia says about her album. Her most introspective release at time, Like a Prayer, is a confessional record. Madonna described the album as a collection of songs about her mother, father, and bonds with her family. It was dedicated to Madonna's mother, who died when she was young, which is so sad. Okay, now, I went back and watched the video just to refresh my memory, because I always remembered a man made of wax that was dripping. Well, that's kind of the case, but it's kind of not the case. So he does kind of melt, but he melts into a real person. He's not from Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. First of all, the video is so weird, but I think that watching it as an adult, I might have got the gist of it. Now, if you have a different interpretation, I would love for you to reach out and tell me if I'm missing something, because sometimes I will admit I can be very surfacey or not think very deeply about things. Just take things for face value. So if you have a different perspective, please, reach out to me either on Facebook or Instagram and tell me your interpretation of this video. Okay, so the video is super weird. It starts out Madonna running away from commotion. The commotion was her black boyfriend. I don't know if he's getting beat up or if he's committing a crime with these white guys, but then the white guys make it look like the black guy did it. Okay, so she runs from, the commotion and she hears a church. So she enters this church. There is a black man made of wax behind bars holding flowers. And there's a church choir, right? Well, first of all, she looks around. It's all mysterious. And then all of a sudden, the song starts to explode. And then just like a dream, all of a sudden the scene changes and there's a whole choir. And this gentleman is now kind of melting, right? And she's talking about how the voice is a dream to her and how she'll do whatever he says. And so it got me thinking, is this supposed to be Black Jesus? Or is it a black choir boy? Or I was trying to figure out kind of the meaning of it, and it made me think, okay, maybe Madonna is religious. Who knows, right? Because she does have Like a Prayer. Maybe she's a Christian, right? So turns out her mother had the same name as her. So they used to call Madonna Little Noni. When Madonna got confirmed, yes, confirmed, in a Catholic church nonetheless, in 1966, she was confirmed under the name Veronica. I just thought that was such a funny nugget. I had to throw it in because I think we all know her as Marilyn Monroe-esque person, very confident, and also really wanting to push boundaries and maybe get a little shock value. So that was why I thought that was so interesting. So then, she's really involved with this black man, right? And she's starting to imagine him coming to life and now he's kissing her. And so then I'm thinking does she wish that she could make out with Black Jesus? Or is she so in love with her religion? I was trying to make sense of all of it. But then I was also looking at some of the words. And it says, just like a prayer, I'll take you there. I hear your voice. It's like an angel sighing. I have no choice. I hear your voice. Feels like flying. I close my eyes. Oh God, I think I'm falling out of the sky. I close my eyes. Heaven help me. And she's talking to this gentleman. I think that she's saying, she's so in love with him. She would do anything for him. And he just makes her feel so good. Right? And then I love when you're listening to the song and it has the music, right? And then it's let's see here. Okay, so when that does end and it says out of the sky, I close my eyes. Heaven help me. And then the choir breaks in. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I just love it. And my mom used to always, I don't know if she'd really poke fun at me, but she'd be like, oh my gosh, you're watching that video again. My sister and I had this little pink radio, and we would put our little cassette in there and go right up to the TV and pray to God that Martha McQuinn or Mark Goodman wasn't doing their typical VJ. That's right, I said VJ, video jockey. Their typical, like, the song would start, but they would keep talking and you're like, please shut up. I'm trying to make a mixtape. Can you please stop talking? Anyway, so I tried so many times to record that song that I remember my mom just being like, man, you love that video, huh? And I just always thought it was this black man who started dripping wax, but turns out he was not dripping wax, people. So good news, the church is in good shape. There's no wax, no mess. And then it comes a beautiful resolution where she is actually in the courtroom and they must have just granted him, not guilty plea. And the gate opens and she gets him back. And then she gets to actually be in love with him. And don't we all love a good story? And that is the beauty of music, right? I love that in 3 minutes, I can go on a trip from this black guy getting wrongfully accused to Madonna dreaming about him, coming to life and being her Prince Charming. And then it turns out he is not accused of it. And she gets to, be in love with him and kiss all over him if she wants to and be the bad girl, maybe that she is. But I just thought it was such a funny thing that I was in my car and the song came on and I just so vividly remember my mom being like, oh, you're trying to record that song again. And I know a lot of people who listen to my podcast are my age or maybe even a little bit older, and you guys can appreciate trying to record a mixtape off of MTV and the VJs talking into the introduction. And then maybe you were just a huge Madonna fan, and so I wanted to bring up a song that would, spark memories for yourself. Again, I would love to hear how this song has, played into your life or the memories you have attached to it. Also, if you guys listen to any of these episodes and it makes you think of a song that you are like, oh man, I could tell her a story about that, I do have an application on my website, virtuallyouva.com. And you can go fill that out and we'll get in contact with you and see when you're available to share your story with my audience. You guys, I appreciate you so much. I would love if you left a review. I would love that. As well as if you don't mind taking the 3 seconds it takes to give me 5 stars. I would love that too. If you've enjoyed this podcast and the content that I've shared with you, I just get so excited to meet with you guys every Thursday and dish about songs and memories and how they've affected our lives. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope this episode was music to your ears. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? You never know what rabbit holes we'll get to go down and explore. Were you reminded of anything? Or anyone? Share what it was with me in a review. Honestly, the reviews don't do me any favors other than knowing people like you are listening to this podcast. Insert cheesy wink. However, the ratings do help, so leave me 5 stars. You know you wanna. This podcast was produced by Virtual You, supporting you in all things podcasting. To connect or check me out on social media, I know you're just gonna stalk me. But see the show notes, as always, for details. Can't wait to dive into my next guest's memories with a beat. Hit subscribe now. You don't want to miss the next episode.